praise the Al-Bashim, Yashal Bashim, Rakakadash, give out the honors to the elders and the apostles for the edification and knowledge. Call and Wadi Al-Bashim Yashal for putting the spirit of the elders and apostles, we become edified regarding this truth and knowledge. Call Halil Yal-Bashim Yashal Bashim, Rakakadash, give all praise Yal-Bashim Yashal Bashim, Rakakadash. That was a Crux video relating to India's S-400 fences by Russia, supplying S-400s to India to build their defense and protections capability against China, for example. Get some scriptures. Before I go to that, let me go to LAC. Now, LAC, what that means is pretty much a line of actual control. It relates to the boundary borders between India and China. Line of actual control is the notion demarcation line that separates the Indian control territory from the Chinese control territory in the Sino-Indian border. The Sino-Indian border dispute. Term is said have been used in the Zhu and Lai in 1959 letter to Jawaharlal Nehru. Forgive me pronunciation, Shalakia. So that's what that is. Pretty much boundaries. That's the LAC. Line of actual control. LAC a notion of demarcation line separates Indian controlled territory from the Chinese controlled territory in the Sino-Indian border dispute. Like you have the borders between North and South China, North and South China, the demilitarized zone that separates between North and South in China, North China from North Korea from South Korea, the demilitarization zone. So same thing, separate between the side of India and the side of China, just like it would be the demilitarized zone for North Korea, South Korea. All right, let's get some scriptures. Zechariah 14:12. And this shall be a plague wherewith the Lord will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet, and their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongues shall consume away in their mouths. And that plague, that's ultimately the radiation by the nuclear missiles, man. Go to Terminator 1, and that clip, that scene relating to where that person was, Sarah O'Connor was leaning against that fence, and that radiation, that film wall radiation was coming and pretty much melted the people away, man. So that's what that is. So that plague is ultimately the missiles, man. Relating to the radiation, man. And except those days shall be shortened, there should no flesh be saved, but for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened, because for the elect's sake, if their days are not shortened, then there will be no flesh to save, because Isaiah 59:19, the devil's going to come in great wrath, like a flood. Revelations 12:12, woe to the inhabitants of the earth and the sea, for the devil's going to come in great wrath, knowing but he has what? A short time, man. That's Revelations 12:12. So it's going to come a time where the ones in power our spirit's going to be put on them to pretty much, they're going to show their horns. 2 Peter 3:10. But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night for most of the people, in which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise. That great noise is the nuclear missiles, with the fire from the fuel from those missiles. And the elements shall melt with fervent heat, and the earth also in the works that therein shall be burnt up. So that wood can melt with fervent heat. That's the radiation. Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of person ought ye to be in all holy conversation goodliness? So knowing these things, what kind of, what manner of person you ought to be. Knowing the things that's going to come, man. Looking for and hasten into the coming of the day of the Lord of Yahweh, and that's the brotherhood. That's what they hasten for, the day of the Yahweh Shemir Shah, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the element shall melt with fervent heat, and that's the radiation. Nevertheless, we according to his promise look for a new heaven and a new earth wherein dwelleth righteousness. Now will be on earth, man. Isaiah 24:19, the earth is utterly broken down. The earth is clean, dissolved, and the earth is moved exceedingly. It's like moved to and fro. It's going to be moved out of its axis when the matter of speaking. It's broken down, man. The earth shall reel to and fro, and the drunkard like a drunkard. Read that again. The earth shall reel to and fro like a drunkard, and shall be removed like a cottage, and the transgression thereof shall be heavy upon it, and it shall fall and not rise again. That's what's going to happen. Babylon's going to fall and not rise again, because the transgression is much heavy upon it. It's called bayad, which is heavy. So it's a heavy judgment upon it, man. Revelations 8:10 and 11. And the third angel sounded, and there fell a great star from heaven. And that star is those missiles, man. Burned as it were a lamp, because it's lighted up, fuel, fire, and it fell from upon the third parts of the rivers and upon the fountains of water. And this is talking about the wormwood contamination, because it's going to contaminate the water, man. That wormwood. Another name for wormwood will be absinthe, I believe. And the name of the star is called wormwood, and the third part of the waters became wormwood, and many men died of the waters, because they were made bitter. So they were contaminated. You couldn't drink it, man. So many died because of that. Without that, two essential things, food and water. Without that, eventually, the body's going to become its own enemy, man. It's going to deteriorate, man. So you need that food and water, man. But ultimately, because of the lack of water, they're going to die, man. And if they drink that because it's contaminated, they're going to die too as well. Let's go to Revelations 11. Go to Revelations go to 9 and 12. One woe is past, World War I. Behold, two come. One woe is past, World War I, that's past. And behold, there come two woes more hereafter. So two more woes for destruction. That's World War II and III, 11 and 14. The second woe is past. That's World War II. And behold, the third woe cometh quickly. And the third woe is going to come quickly, very destructively, very quickly. And that's World War III, courtesy of the nuclear missiles. So that's evidence that these things are going to come to pass. And scripturally speaking, says it's going to come to pass. This is a few scriptures. Also Joel 3 and 9, as they prepare ye the men of war. Joel 3 and 9. I'll get it real fast. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, Shalakia. Prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, and let them come up. So that's the men of war, man. They're going to draw up to do battle, man. This is Joel 3. Beat your plowshares into the swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. So they're building up their military capability, their arsenal. For example, India, they're building up their defense system so they can take on China. And these other nations are building up their supplies and their military capability in the case of war, man. They're preparing for war, man. So these nations saying, we no longer let the weak say I am strong. So the ones who weren't as military strong or capable as they were in the past are now are, man. So they're saying we're no longer weak, but we're strong now. Assemble yourselves and come up, all ye heathen. Gather yourselves together round about thus cause thy mighty ones to come down, the Lord. So they're coming down for preparation for battle. Let the heathen be awakened, come up in the valley of Jehoshaphat, or Yahweh Shaphat, which is he has judged. Pretty much he will judge. For there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. So the Lord's going to execute judgment, man, upon them, man. Put ye the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come get you down, for the press is full, the fats overflow, for their wickedness is great. So the Lord is going to execute judgment, man. So the harvest is ripe for judgment, man, because their wickedness is great. The multitudes in the valley of decision, for the day of the Lord is near, in the valley of decision. So the day of the Lord is near, and this is related to the signs. The sun and the moon shall be darkened like sackcloth, and the stars will withdraw as shining. The constellations will fall. The earth is going to move to and fro, relating to, as I read in Revelations 8. The earth is going to move to and fro like a drunkard, man. So these are the signs, the things that's going to come to pass. Ezekiel 38, talking about the Magog and Gog and its allies being a guard to them, versus U.S. and its allies being a guard to them. Joel 2, talking about the northern. The north, relating to those coming down from the north to do battle, and to do war, man. So this was a few scriptures relating to talking about the S-400s that India will be supplied by Russia. It's going to be given to so they can build up their defense system relating to their area, their border, the LSC, against China and different other nations as need be. That being said, I hope this helps whoever listens. I want to give all praise to Yahweh Bashim Yashal Bashim Rakakadash. His brother Zayab means wolf. I hope it helps in some way. Shalom. Thanks.